What's going on, everybody? It's Trent St. James. I'm the host and the lead anchor of the Opinionated News Network. I want to just thank y'all for giving me a piece of your time. Come on in, come on in. Look, check this out. I wanted to do this video here today just to say that R. Kelly should not get a bail hearing. R. Kelly should not get a bail hearing. And I know some of y'all thinking like, nigga, what the fuck is you talking about? No, R. Kelly should not get a bail hearing. R. Kelly should be released of his own recognizance. He should be released of his own recognizance. Now, I know some of y'all looking like, what the fuck? Thinking like, what the fuck? No, R. Kelly needs to be released of his own recognizance just because I've done my research here. And, these are my research notes, stuff like that. I've been, researching for several days, right? Been doing a lot of research. This 4 or 5 sheets of paper, just, right here or whatever. And I got me a little list right here. So the reason why I come out saying that R. Kelly should be released in his own recognizance is because I have been doing the research. I've been putting together timelines and things of that nature. And through the course of me doing my research and putting together all of these timelines, I have come to find that this is a case that should have never gotten this for. And since he should not have gotten this for, he shouldn't have to forfeit, he shouldn't have to put up any assets or anything in this case in order for it to get this far. And once you do the research, because I had, just like everybody else, I've been watching a lot of the videos from the bloggers, and I've just been mainly just relying on other bloggers and stuff like that to kind of see what's going on. Me myself, I'm a former comedian. I used to perform here in St. Louis, Missouri, and other states, Indiana as well, stuff like that. So, everybody who knows me knows that, I'm always a fun going dude, just always like very tongue in cheek. I love to keep a joke going. So about 3 or 4 days ago, about 3 or 4 days ago, it hit me or whatever, like a joke came across my mind, and I was going to do what's called a curious case of Tim Savage. That's what it was going to be, a little comedy sketch that I was going to put out, and it was going to be called A Curious Case of Tim Savage. Now, some of y'all looking like, what the fuck? But no, I was going to take The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and then I was going to, I was going to put Tim Savage face on there or whatever, and, I was going to do it like one of them late night infomercials, like, do you have a tendency to get gangster and then call the FBI? You might have a curious case of Tim Savage. Have you ever been accused of touching your daughter? You might have a case of the Tim Savage, and just go on.
Triggered her. It triggered her to run out the house like a mad woman. And I was like, what is going on? When I reached over to take her back to her dorm the same day after the intervention, because I told John, I said, let's take her back to the dorm. We'll go visit her in the morning. We'll try to work through this. And as I was taking her back to the dorm, we was downtown Atlanta. I reached over and she frizzed up like somebody had been beating on her. And it shocked me. So we pulled over, and me and my wife wanted to talk, and her roommate was there. Jocelyn rushed in and locked herself in the restroom.
And I think that reasonably that a bail hearing should not be needed, because he shouldn't need bail for baseless charges. Bail is pretty much set up to say, all right, you're forfeiting these assets pending a trial. You know, you pretty much you're forfeiting. Hey, you're gonna put up this amount of money in lieu of losing it. Should you go to trial? But the case that the state has and that the government has against R. Kelly is so weak that it's you could damn near rip it like wet paper, right? And I know some of y'all like, what the fuck? You know, I know that y'all have heard this a million times, 100,000 times before. But the case against R. Kelly is very, very, very weak. All of this stuff was bought on and it was all orchestrated by Tim Savage, Tim and John Jalen Savage, who through my research, I personally believe that Tim and John Jalen or the two conspirators. And so in the RICO case that you have against um, R. Kelly, that RICO case really deserves and belongs to Tim Savage.
We might just get hit with the me Millie. We might just get hit with the me Millie.
But we have the Tim Savage criminal enterprise. Now I got Joycelyn as the prize jewel of the enterprise. Now, we have Tim Savage, who essentially is a disgruntled father. He is married to John Jalen Savage, of which they have two children, Jory and Jai. Jay is otherwise known as Jalen. Now, from John Jalen, you get Asante McGee. We find out about July 17th that John Jalen has been in contact with the Savages. We find that out at a July 17th press conference. Not only did she reach out to John Jalen, but she also reached out to Alice and Angelo Clary. Now, I see a lot of bloggers in the R. Kelly space. They are going back and forth between Team Truth. I personally, you know, I hate to be a contrarian, but I don't believe. My research leads me to believe that Angelo is not that big of a factor in the way that all of this went down. I think that Angelo is pretty much a beneficiary of somebody who just hopped on the train because the train was going to leave with or without him. And so he's reaping the benefits of it. But I don't believe that he had anything really. I don't believe that his purpose of going in was the same as Tim's purpose of going in. Now, when I check my timeline here, and I'm going to try to keep this short, but I'm going to have to explain it since I started explaining it. So sometime in early 2015, at the at the J Savage Collection Store in Atlanta, Georgia, you have John Jalen Savage, who meets R. Kelly's road manager named Kevin Giles. Once he meets Kevin Giles, somehow they come in contact with R. Kelly. On May 23rd, 2015, in Palm Springs, California, R. Kelly flies John Jalen and Joycelyn out there, presumably from Atlanta, but these are just the facts. This is May 23rd or on or about the week of May 23rd, 2015. Now, we really don't hear too much about this story. It kind of goes blank until late 2016. Presumably, we want to say about December the 1st. About December the 1st. This is where they bring Jocelyn home, or Joycelyn. I'm sorry for calling her Jocelyn. They bring Joycelyn home. This is when the intervention is held between John Jalen, Joycelyn, Jocelyn, and Tim. This is on December the 1st, 2016, is when all of this happens. Now, keep in mind that late 2016, Tim Savage was fired from Pars Cars. He was fired from Pars Cars. They had 3 locations. The main location, the one that I believe, or the one that I'm alleging Tim worked at, is the one that is in a place called Morrow, Georgia. He was fired from Pars Cars. We heard this from Blake. Blake said that he said something derogatory towards a white man. So this is basically first-hand information or second-hand information, but we find out that he's fired. Now, also what Blake has said that I did not write down here is that R. Kelly was giving them money to help them start and fund businesses in Atlanta, then somehow it stopped. During this time, though, this is late 2016, beginning of 2017, we find out that it was a movement from up top to basically cut off R. Kelly's money, because shortly thereafter, a lot of these tour dates and stuff started getting canceled. So on December the 1st, we have the intervention, the famous intervention, to where it say R. Kelly got you sleeping with another girl.
Why we keep talking about R. Kelly?
R. Kelly made you have sex with another
No,
girl?
nobody made me have sex with no one.
So how
Them boys talk country as fuck, boy, and they say we talk country in St. Louis. But Tim, he get it down there. So R. Kelly made you sleep with another girl? That they had that whole intervention. That shit still cracks me up. So the next day, December the 2nd, 2016, downtown Atlanta, Jongelyn, Tim, and a roommate, they are at a restaurant, and they're trying these pressure tactics. It's my assertion, it's my belief that they were trying to send her in there to set R. Kelly up.
Frizzed up like somebody had been beating on her. And it shocked me. So we pulled over, and me and my wife wanted to rushed in and locked herself in the restroom in a restaurant. And we said, something is wrong. But
there are allegations.
She wasn't really with it. This is just my belief and my assertion. And I think that it was more Tim than it was Jongelyn. I don't think that Jongelyn really wanted too much to do with it, because just what I get from Jongelyn is just that she's a concerned mother. And, hey, she gonna ride with her husband. Tim is her husband. But I don't think that Jongelyn necessarily had the intentions. So 2 days after being fired from the Pars Cars here in late 2016, he has exposed himself, saying that he has this elaborate extortion scheme, and he's going to apply pressure. And he's going to apply pressure. Now, I don't want to go there quite yet. So, late 2016, these are the first times that we are hearing from the Savages. But again, it's any criminal conduct, this is the first mention of it. But I'm going to take a step further to say that we don't really hear any criminal conduct come about until July 17th, 2017, because even the intervention was not something that was posted right at that time. That's not something that we were readily aware of at that time. This was something that they came back 8 months later in a blackmail scheme to try to extort R. Kelly. Now, I think that Tim conspired to take R. Kelly down, but Tim just did not have the necessary resources, and this is where Asante McGee popped out of the sky, as well as Jim Derogatis. I believe that Asante was the one who connected the Clarys with the Savages. This is just my personal belief that Asante McGee connected the Clarys with the Savages. Now, when all of this stuff started coming about, in the beginning, it was just very raw, rough, and rugged, and this was just all one big ass scheme. I personally think that R. Kelly G-checked Asante McGee. Asante McGee got disgruntled and upset, and she winded up leaving, or either that or R. Kelly kicked her out. And her being disgruntled and upset, they devised this elaborate scheme to take down R. Kelly, of which the Clarys later became a part of. But I don't think that, like I say, I don't think that was their original intention in the situation. Now, in late 2016, we find out that R. Kelly had been dealing with Joycelyn, but I believe that he had to check her on some bullshit for whatever reason. He had to check her on the bullshit. And this is around the time that Asante McGee had started, you know, I believe personally that Asante and I think Holly Calhoun as well, I believe that they started leaving a trail of breadcrumbs personally. Just because if you go back and you look at the intervention video, then you start to see that it's a bunch of just baseless shit, and it's a bunch of information that sound like bullshit, sound like hearsay. But just me, you know, being a ladies' man myself, I know when one girl goes in and poisons the well so that the other girl can't get the water.
It's integrate into it. So you told me the first time
got
you
the
got
Juice, right?
You
Yeah, but that's the only girl I usually get it.
Juice is the one who's been with him for years.
But I don't know about the other girls.
So
Juice
you
is
trying
not
to
like Will right now because
you
she's
talking
trained
about-
all the girls she needs to train.
I don't know about all that training stuff. I don't know about all that. But
Let me and Josh, let me break it down for you. Juice is the one like a madam. She the one tells you
Right.
who to have sex with, who she tells
Right,
you
she's
how to
trying
have
to them
sex and all
girls.
that.
she don't do that to me. So
Okay.
I mean, I know you.
So
But you as nigga, you know Juice. So the girls I'm giving the information from is accurate because they done already told me Juice is no longer with him right now until she's time to go back in to train new girls.
That's what I'm saying.
Johnson, that's Juice. I'm giving information from the people.
I know people ain't telling you.
I'm getting this is real
She's
people.
right though. That's why I'm saying.
I'm getting accurate information. This
Yeah,
is
you
not
are.
right. This is killing me. This baby I got nervous right now. I'm getting information from people daily. Give me true information.
She's right. It's scary. There's nothing that she just said that was a lie. That's the same thing when she came to me over Thanksgiving break. There's nothing that she or your dad told me that they never lied. It was the exact thing. Which is
D,
why I
who
have to
is
know.
D? Who is D?
I don't know who he is. Why are you telling me? I'm ready to go. Like, why I'm still
You don't know
here?
who he is?
Why are we still here? It's only been one time. I
What
don't know.
was her
That's
name?
it. But I only
What was
have
her name, Jordan?
Okay.
What was her name?
No, I'm getting a call.
What was her name?
He's great. Call him.
What was
Yeah.
her name?
You gotta call him.
What was her name? What was her name?
Oh my God.
What was her name?
He's
I
great.
got
Call
her
him.
name.
He's great. Call him right now. He's like, I'm looking at him about to call him.
I bet
He's
he's
not
about
gonna
to.
ask if he don't ask.
Okay.
He's about to.
Her name's April. It's one.
Who is April?
Joy.
It's
Joy. Please.
Who is April?
Please. It's here. Please.
Who is April?
Okay.
Please tell the truth.
Yeah, why are you trying to
Who
call her?
is April?
Okay, you tell her don't try.
Who is April?
And I believe that during this time, Holly was coming up. Holly was on her way out. Joycelyn was starting to rise up amongst the girlfriends. And I believe that they kind of devised a plan to try to get Joycelyn kicked the fuck about the paint or whatever. It's a mention of a guy named Adonis. We don't know who Adonis is, but it's a mention of a guy named Adonis and that somebody had sex with somebody else. And R. Kelly just had basically cut her off for 2 weeks. Now, when they say that they quit hearing from Joycelyn and they hadn't heard from her for 2 years, I also, have something to say that that's not necessarily the truth. So, excuse me. So at this point, Joycelyn is rising up through the ranks, and she's starting to become more important. So on December the 2nd, 2016, they're all out at a family restaurant, and I think that they are applying these pressure tactics. And I believe that the roommate, Joycelyn was talking to the roommate on a woman to woman thing, on a woman to woman basis. Now, me, I'm a man, straight man, heterosexual, ain't never did no gay shit in my life. But from what I understand about women and about woman nature, is whatever a woman tell another woman, that shit is not to be repeated. And so to me, Joycelyn, she was doing a little hoeing or whatever shit. We got to keep that 100. This ain't meant to be none derogatory or no defamation, but she was out there. She was getting a freak on, licking a little taco, shit like that, And so when they start to get wind of this or whatever, when you got a dude that's worth millions or whatever, and the new girls come in on the team, she trying to outperform her old girl, and this is the same repetitive cycle that we seen throughout the Survivor R. Kelly with Drea was the one, Drea was the freakiest one, and then another bitch came and took her the fuck up out the paint. You see how this cycle pretty much goes on and on and on and on and on perpetually, or whatever. But I believe that during this time, Joycelyn has started to rise up through the ranks and stuff. And Asante, she was getting pushed out. One, because if you look at Asante she was already old when she got there, but then she's a very combative person combined with the fact that she has criminal tendencies or whatever. I think that R. Kelly didn't want anything to do with her out of vengeance, that she went and contacted these parents and she started to tell them, I would say 80% lies mixed in with 20% truth. I think that they was out there, they was fucking till they was blue in the heels. That's just me or whatever. I think that that's what was going on. Now, after not necessarily R. Kelly, but I believe that it was some freaky shit going on, a lot of taco tasting and stuff like that. Once R. Kelly started noticing them, they started moving up in the ranks amongst girls who he actually messed with. They start becoming more important to him. As they start becoming more important to him, this is where all of these cult conversations and stuff come from. This is just my personal speculation. Again, I have not sat down and talked to anybody inside the camp to prove this. But if you go and you research the story, you research the evidence, it's very clear of what happened. So they started to rise up quite naturally as a man. Now, this is my domain. I can speak on this. As a man, as a woman becomes more important to me, I can't have you around my guy specifically if I start feeling you, but I know that you done fuck my partner Adonis. No, you can't be around him. Like, you still can go and do whatever you want to do. But any man who loves a woman, you're not gonna have her around somewhere where somebody else can get her. Shit, everybody's selfish like that. That don't necessarily make it be a cult. And it don't mean that they are prisoners, and it don't mean that they are brainwashed. That's what it was. So I believe that sometime around the middle, let's just say on or about, give or take, July the 12th, or possibly sooner, let's just say the first week of July, Tim Savage says he gave R. Kelly 120 hours to return his daughter before he started to expose him. What I really believe happened was, if we listen to what Blake says, Blake's testimony, and again, give me a chance to go home and to finish researching this fully. But if we listen to Blake's testimony, he said that they were in trouble of possibly losing the shop. But we know that for a fact, for Tim had lost his job, that his Mercedes Benz was in repossession. Now, all of us remember that video that Tim Savage did where he had the baseball bat and he like, boy, Kelly, use a bitch ass nigga, da 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 da, or whatever. And so I believe that he tried to extort R. Kelly and he told him, you got 5 days to pay me some money or else I'm going to go public with this. That's an extortion attempt. And when we get into Avenatti being in here later, we'll get deeper off into that. But I believe that Tim Savage purposely tried to extort R. Kelly and R. Kelly did not budge. Tim Savage goes and explains that, you got 120 hours, which 24 times 5 equals, 120. So that's 5 days. R. Kelly didn't tour outside of the country. So if you wanted your daughter, if you were the father that you say that you are, what the fuck is 5 days? You know what I'm saying? You need her tonight. R. Kelly has the means and the resources to send your daughter home the next night or whatever. Shit. I was reading somewhere where it said he had 400,000 people or some shit like that, on a tour date or whatever. Even a last minute flight anywhere in the world ain't gonna cost you no more than about $2,000, $2,500. He got that. He got that shit. Asante McGee told you they was playing the game. He had $9,700 in his pocket. I believe that they were trying to extort this man. This is what I personally believe. And I personally believe that when they first met him, R. Kelly had a cool, favorable relationship with them because all in all, when you really get down to the people outside of these raggedy ass bitches who talk about R. Kelly, all of them say the same thing, more or less. He's a nice guy, whatever. He's real cool. He's funny. The only people that really speak derogatory about him are the surviving R. Kelly people and the people in the industry who basically want to get a check and they're irrelevant otherwise. Like, so, but when we get off into it, I believe that that Tim Savage wanted to sell his daughter to R. Kelly. Hence what R. Kelly said in the first Gayle King interview, like, how are you trying to sell your daughter to a man? So when you go through and you hear these interviews where he's talking about, I gave him 120 hours to return my daughter, and he didn't do it. Now, keep in mind, this is July of 2017. I don't think that he had hooked up with an attorney at this point because he's still calling him R. Kelly. And you are going to know about the time that Gerald Griggs comes in because Gerald Griggs is part of this conspiracy too. This is the Savage family's attorney, Gerald Griggs is. And so when you look at once Gerald Griggs starts to come into this, when he starts to come into this picture, you start to see the verbiage and things like that change. You start to see the settings change, things of that nature, because even though they had made these big, wide sweeping claims, then once the attorney came in, it went on a bigger platform. Now, part of the reason, I'm going to jump ahead and then I'm going to, come back to where I am. Part of the reason why I say that R. Kelly needs to be released of his own reconnaissance is because when we saw the Savage family go on Pastor Jamal Bryant's platform a couple weeks ago, you heard Gerald Griggs basically run you through the fact of it was nothing criminal happening here. When they first came to me, it was nothing criminal happening here. The research said that it was nothing criminal happening in here. And we had to basically go through a process of making a bunch of false allegations to raise up the level or to raise up the attention and the pressure on R. Kelly because of these false accusations.
Come from that as whole.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Attorney, I want you to talk about the legal hurdles that you had to go through in order to get to the point where we are now.
Well, we face a gamut of legal hurdles. First and foremost, the first question was whether or not these women were over age. And once it was determined that they were of age when they met him, we faced a host of issues. And so, like Tim said, 3 years ago when they came in my office, after he called me, I first started to strategize, how can I help? Because legally there weren't too many options. But what we've had to do was destroy the narrative that's been surrounding this individual and many cases like this, that these are women that no one cares for, that these are women that no one will fight for. And so we took a outside the box approach, and we started to destroy the narrative. We had to convince men and women across the country to believe what was going on by taking apart the easy predation that's going on right in front of your eyes. So my hat's off to the Savages for opening their lives. And I mean, they've taken a lot of grief, a lot of unnecessary attacks to get to the point, and threats to get to the point they are. But what we had to do was to change the minds of prosecutors, to change the minds of people in the industry, and to ultimately bring Mr. Kelly to justice. And now he's facing 4 indictments for the situation.
And basically, we got our lives saved because Harvey Weinstein and the Bill Cosby's and things like that, they started to go down during that time frame. And from them going down, you had the rise of the Me Too movement that was simultaneously happening. And so we hopped on that and used that to propel us forward. But this is July 17, 2017. Now, on this date, it don't matter if you go to the Chronicle Speaks, it don't matter what platform you go to, you're not really going to find anything about the Savage family until July 17, 2017. You're not going to really find anything. If you find something before that date, it's going to be backdated to say this happened at this time, but it's going to, you're not going to find anything. But furthermore, you see them, they pop out, they do this press conference, and this is the press conference where Ashanti McGee, they start asking her pertinent questions, right? And I wrote some of this shit down, so let me see, is this it? Okay. So yeah, on the July 17th, they start asking pertinent questions. And so they doing the interview, Tim Savage, he is doing his Tim Savage thing where he's overselling it. And right then, the thing that kind of made me hop on the R. Kelly, it should be not guilty, was when they start off this press conference and I see this nigga Tim Savage over here with an over-the-ear Bluetooth. Any nigga that wear a Bluetooth that look like this, any nigga that still walking around with that long ass Bluetooth, nigga that went on motherfucking a Motorola Razor, nigga, not guilty. Shit, when he get up in there, the Judge Lindbergh gonna say, man, R. Kelly, this nigga over here, the nigga that seen Bump and Grind, and your ass nigga with that outdated ass Bluetooth and that motherfucking S curl, I see why your daughter ain't want to come home, nigga. Dismissed. But on a more serious note, though, so they do this press conference, right? And this is where they do the press conference outside of R. Kelly's house. Now they are very strategic, right? They're very strategic. Like Tim Savage is a country ass nigga, but he's very fucking strategic. Goddamn, my fault. I'm starting to talk like Tim Savage and shit. But Ashanti, they asked her all these questions, and we find out how Ashanti linked up with the Savages, with the Clarys, with all the rest of them. Now, when they start asking her pertinent questions, right? And this is the reason why none of the mainstream media really picked this up. When you go and you look at most of these allegations are coming from BuzzFeed. And as we know, that's Jim DeRogatis or whatever. And so when you see my I ain't gonna expose all of it, but when y'all look at my gotta block that from motherfucking haters or whatever, because I'm gonna write this shit up as a real RICO case against Tim Savage, and I'm gonna forward that shit to the U.S. attorney. But again, I'm putting together all my research. But you see Jim DeRogatis, he's right there on my list of suspects. Now, when you see Jim DeRogatis Jim Derrick Goddess played a major role in it because these folks, they had no credibility. And once they started to ask pertinent questions, like they asked Asante something simple, right? Something that an honest person should be able to answer. So they asked her, how did you meet? That's the question that the media asked her, who was out here at this bullshit press conference. And she got stuck. She got stuck because she didn't, as we now know,
because of the things that he puts in your head and make you believe everybody's against you.
Was it this house here?
No, I've never. This is my first time being at this house. I was always at the main location, and I really don't know the address offhand, but it's another location that's not far from this home.
How long did you know of Kelly?
3 years. Yes.
How'd you meet him?
We're gonna step in for a minute. Yes.
Tim does an awful lot of hopping into situations in order to steer this narrative. Tim does this a lot, quite a lot, whether it's Johnson talking, whether it's the attorney talking, no matter who it is, he does an awful lot of hopping in order to steer the narrative. You know, and I just think that that's problematic. How are you more apt to be able to tell somebody what happened and what transpired in their life than they were? You weren't there, or were you? And if you were, then doesn't that show a pattern of behavior? But if you weren't there, how could you speak into the merits of what happened during an event or events, plural, that you weren't at? Just something to make you think about. You know, this seems like class A personality disorder and narcissism. Tim is not a medical doctor, but since he says that his daughters have Stockholm syndrome, and as we know, they have never been evaluated by a medical professional, then I want to take my time to be a citizen doctor too, and just say that he has personality disorder. He may be a narcissist. Maybe his narcissism may be why his daughter may not want to return home. I don't know. What say you? Let's continue watching. Oh, what she didn't want to tell them is I chased this nigga around for several years until he noticed me. I was a dick rider, and so I was willing to do whatever the fuck with the team. That's what we now know, but she didn't want to tell that because, hey, it's incriminating, right? Then they asked her, how long did you know him? Tim had said 3 years. 3 years. I known him 3 years. Well, Now, the reason why I bring all of this up is because here's the important part out of everything that I have said. So they asked, what evidence do you have that your daughter is kidnapped? Tim never answered the question. Like, shit, is February 20th, 2020. They asked this question July 17th or July the 8th, sometime around July 8th through the 17th, 2017, and we still waiting on Tim to give us an answer to what evidence do you have that your daughter is kidnapped?
Take your question first. What question do you have, and what would you like for me to answer?
You already answered how old your daughter is. She's 21, so she is of age. Again, the charge you make is that she's being held against her will. What evidence of that do you have, other than perhaps some of the conversations you've had where she sounded a little off?
Well, if you have cultured and looked at where it's Stockholm syndrome, that's what my daughter has right now. And so those are the things that's going to come to play. We're going to share all these things at a later date. Can I have another question?
Whenever they ask him a direct question, something that makes a lot of sense, their answer is always some bullshit. So to this answer of what evidence do you have that your daughter is kidnapped, Tim responds and says, well, if you define Stockholm syndrome, that's what she has, right? She has Stockholm syndrome. So right now I'm putting up, the definition of Stockholm syndrome, bear with me a minute. Okay. The feeling of trust or affection felt in many cases of kidnapping or hostage taking a victim toward a captor. Okay. All right. I want to get one one more example of Stockholm syndrome. Let's go to Wikipedia. Because I want a long answer, right? Stockholm syndrome is a condition in which hostages develop a psychological alliance with their captors during captivity. Emotional bonds may be formed between captor and captives during intimate time together, but these are generally considered irrational in light of the danger or risk endured by the victims. The FBI's hostage barricade data system and law enforcement bulletin indicate that roughly 8% of victims show evidence of Stockholm syndrome. About 96% of victims involve suicide, domestic violence, and include people with previous relationships with the abuser. Okay. So, apparently they are saying that she was kidnapped. In order for you to have Stockholm syndrome, she would have had to be kidnapped, right? And what we know, that's just not true, because on December 2nd, 2016, they lock her in, and she goes to a restaurant to eat with the family and with the roommate. And they never explain how she got out of the restaurant. I don't know if they left her there at the restaurant, but the story gets kind of murky here. Joy, when the family went to a restaurant, December going to be touched at all. So when she froze up, then she went and barricaded and locked herself in the bathroom. Now I personally believe that was just it. That was her saying, I don't fuck with them, because if you go and you look at the video of Joy Savage's intervention, if you look at them or whatever, the look on her face is just like, y'all really all up in my business. Like, because I mean, my audience, we are all mature adults. When females come of age or whatever, it's gonna be some freaking involved. Girls go to college and get pregnant all the time. Girls go to college and get that thing up. So she was gonna be fucking somebody. To talk about a movie company that was entitled Girls Gone Wild. And Girls Gone Wild is now a defunct company. But Girls Gone Wild operated for a while under the business formula of going out to bars and catching young women who were in college. And these women would willingly show their asses and titties in order to be just part of the program, all in the name of fun. And they would go on, and these are all court documents. If you have your time, research it. But these women would go in and they would show their bodies off in order to be on a Girls Gone Wild tape. And sometimes this stuff will come back to affect them negatively in years as their life began to go on. The decisions that they made as younger women while they were in college began to affect them. And when these choices began to affect them, then they came and retroactively started filing lawsuits. But I want you guys to go and research Girls Gone Wild. Oh, and that's just what it was. She was becoming sexually explorative. Now, when she was sharing these experiences with her roommate in college, then the roommate was going back and telling everything to her parents. The roommate kind of took on the identity of the parent, and she started doing a whole bunch of telling and stuff like that, stuff where you're supposed to keep it close to the cuff. because as you go and listen to the story, like, R. Kelly got mad at me and he cut me off for a couple weeks. You mad because this is R. Kelly, or this is an issue because this is R. Kelly, but any nigga who get mad at his girl gonna cut her off for a couple weeks. And so she couldn't trust her parents because the father was filming her. Even during this whole time, she looked at her mom and she like, tell this nigga turn this motherfucking camera off. Tell this nigga turn the camera off. The whole time he's over there. So R. Kelly made you sleep with another guy? R. Kelly made you sleep with another gal? That's Tim's whole role in all of this. Now, fast forward, she's supposed to be going to college. Now, it's unclear. One more thing I want to touch on that press conference is they hold a press conference outside of a house that they say belongs to R. Kelly. The only problem is that none of them have actually been to that house. None of them have been to that house. So the purpose of them doing a press conference in front of that house, it behooves me. But moving on along. So they do this press conference in front of this house. Again, this is July 17, 2018. I know y'all keep on saying that or whatever, but this is very important so that we can draw a timeline. Well, July 17, 2018 is when all of this shit starts happening. Now, also on this day, if we go into the J Savage Collections YouTube page, it all starts to come together and it all starts to make sense. As soon as you go on that page, you're going to see some shit that's just going to blow your mind. So when you go onto that page, you see the diss track that Jalen that she dropped on R. Kelly. And I took some notes about this diss track because this diss track is disturbing. If we do our research, right? Jalen Savage, according to the internet, I forgot which site I pulled it off for, but I'm trying to, spitball right now, so I don't have time to dig out my research. But she is born August the 8th, 2000, the year 2000. August the 8th, the year 2000. And so at the time of this video, she is 16 years old. But some of these lyrics that she's saying, they just disturbing for a 16-year-old.
Really? Damn Savage, why you rapping so hard? Was he a bitch? Damn Kelly, why you acting so hard? He full of shit in a bad influence. Love fingers up his ass with acrylic nails attached to it.
And granted, when I was 16 years old, I was cussing and I was doing a bunch of flagrant shit that I probably was supposed to be doing. But to put it up but to give that to my parents and to have them put it up on YouTube and for them to support it or whatever, that's a horse of another color. And so some of her lyrics is that she has a lyric saying, R. Kelly ruined Joy's career. Did nobody motherfucker?
But it's about a dummy and he fooling with my fucking sister. He retarded and he losing it. And her career, he ruined it. Y'all
no Joy at this time. She goes on in the song to say, this bitch ass nigga, he like getting finger popped in the ass with acrylic nails. Now, the one thing that this video shows us is that Jay, the girl Jalen, is the daughter that they wanted Joycelyn to be. Jay is the one with all of the personality. She's the one with all of the charisma. She's the one with the star qualities. Joycelyn don't have none of that shit. And this ain't no disrespect towards Joycelyn, but Jay is the one who has just all the charisma. She got all of the personality. She's herself. But with that being said, she is the one that's always over the top. Because I believe that Tim Savage has, I'm pretty sure at this point, I believe that he has discussed this with his family, and he told everybody what role they are to play. Even if we listen to Tasha K, who was right there in Atlanta, who has firsthand knowledge of everything that's going on, Tasha K would tell you they sat down and devised this scheme to bring R. Kelly down, and this is their own people telling you this. Now, back to the situation at hand. Now, whenever they tell Ja the camera is on, you see her light up like a star. Now, if you go on that,
Slim, I love you so much. What R. Kelly has done to you, nobody, I don't mean nobody needs to go through what you've been through and what them other girls been through. I love my sister so much, and I just want to see her how she used to be. When Joycelyn left to go to college, everything changed after that. Everything. It's all because of this monster, R. Kelly. He needs to get what he deserves, for real. Like, everybody knows that he is a pedophile, a rapist, everything.
That's it.
And Paige, you see Joycelyn performing a song called Mimosas. And when she is performing this Mimosa song, then when she is performing this Mimosa song, you see that she can't sing, she can't dance, she don't have no star quality to her. And I believe that Joycelyn is generally a smart girl. I believe that she is generally a smart girl, but she don't have the start, she don't have the it factor. And if you go on the Jay Savage collection page and you listen to her sing, you are going to see that she just does not have the star quality to her. Now, and I'm gonna cut this video off in a second, and I'm gonna make a part 2 to this as well. Now, if you go on Dreeshare.com, right? They have so much information about Joycelyn. Now, when they said she has Stockholm syndrome, she's being starved, she's being beaten, all of this. At the time that Joycelyn left them, this is all alleged information, but this is on Dreeshare.com. Joycelyn is 5'7", height of 121 pounds. Her bra size is 36B. Her body measurements are 34, 24, 35. Yeah. Her body measurements are 34, 24, 35. When we saw her come to that first court date, she ain't none of that shit no more. You can't motherfucking pay me to believe that girl is 121 pounds. So where the fuck are they coming with all of this kidnap, all of this victim, all of this shit? You just don't understand it. So if we go on, all right, if we go on here, on July 21st, 2017, this is a few days later, then they drop a video. It's supposed to have Joycelyn admitting of something that goes on, but when we listen to it, we just hear her talking to another older female, and she's just talking. It sounded like she was talking about her sex life. They was talking about a myriad of things, but we don't hear anything incriminating. We don't hear anything incriminating at all as it pertains to this. In this case, it all started with the Savages. This is the reason why I'm on the Savages for so long, and this is the reason why I said R. Kelly does not need a bail hearing. R. Kelly should not get a bail hearing. R. Kelly should be released today of his own recognizance, and it is for these facts. So on July 21st, 2017, the Chronicle Speaks dropped the video, whatever, with her talking to the voice coach. Now, it might be another source for this video. This might have came directly from Tim, but the recording that I found, it was on the Chronicle Speaks page. Now, the whole thing that I am confused about is that when you listen to Joycelyn sing, Joycelyn is off key. She off key. She don't have breath control. She don't know what key she's singing in. She has no control of her breathing. As somebody who went to vocal lessons, presumably, if you're gonna take her and put her in front of R. Kelly, and this is supposed to be her vocal coach, what the fuck job is she doing as a vocal coach? As a just simple vocal training is doing something like that. This strengthens your vocal cord. That strengthens your vocal cord when she's singing. When she's singing, the Lauryn Hill song, Roberta Flack.
Lauryn Hill, Killing Me Softly. All right, so here you go. Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song.
So she's on the phone with her vocal coach, but she's singing off key. And this is on the J Savage's collection page. They put this out. Nobody else put this shit out but them. What you start to realize when you fast forward, and it's let me come right back there. Let me look at my timeline and see what else we got here. So okay. So yeah. On July 17th, then this is when we see Jai dropped the video where she's dissing R. Kelly. Now, at the end of this video, Tim Savage rolls up with a Rolls Royce. I'm sorry, not a Rolls Royce. I'm giving this nigga too much credit with their goddamn Bluetooth. He rolls up with his motherfucking he rolls up with his Mercedes and pulls a baseball bat out the trunk and say, "R. Kelly, you really want that, you bitch ass nigga?" Shit, embarrassing, bro. Terrible. Now, July 31st, we find out, this is according to Billboard and TMZ, that R. Kelly is getting several concert dates canceled. This presumably has come after these interviews are made public. He was going on a tour or whatever. He had San Antonio, Texas, Westbury, New York, National Harbor, Maryland, Connecticut, Camden, New Jersey. They canceled him in Dallas, New Orleans, and Baton Rouge. And they eventually just basically wrapped the tour up. Now, this is around the time I believe that R. Kelly was going into the label, and he was figuring out that he didn't own his publishing, because during this time, you start seeing people like Diane Copeland, and you start seeing a lot of these people whose names you don't really hear anymore. They started to back up off of them, but they got up off of them so abruptly, or so quickly, that it leads me to believe that this was something that was orchestrated from the top. This is just not some having chance shit that just sprung up. But when they first came out at the beginning of 2019, they had the narrative going that they hadn't seen their daughter, they hadn't spoken to their daughter in 2 years. Well, first thing that they didn't say is that they basically try to pressure their daughter into they try to pressure their daughter and treat her like a child, number one. But number two, the daddy was broke. And when you hear Joycelyn come out and defend herself, Joycelyn be like, Dad, you know what's up, you know where I am, and you know what the fuck you did. Basically, she's speaking in code. You know why the fuck I'm not coming home is what she be saying in so many words, if you can read between the lines. So Joycelyn, she'll tell you like, yeah, well, look, y'all know why the fuck I'm not coming home.
To my family, but especially my dad. Dad, you know everything that's going on with the media and the internet, and what you have done is a complete disaster, and you need to stop. Because right now, I am fed up with everything you are doing. You're embarrassing me and the whole entire family. I am happy where I'm at and the people that I'm around, and it's getting out of hand, seriously. Because honestly, you know the situation that had happened that night when I went to meet R. Kelly. So I would like for you, matter of fact, I would love for you to stop what you're doing, because this is I can't believe you even went this far. I love you to death, but I need you to understand me. Please stop what you're doing. Please.
What? Jocelyn Savage. I was doing my show. He brought her and asked a friend of mine to put her on the stage with R. Kelly.
That is absolutely not true.
Gerald Griggs is the Savage family attorney.
At no point has Mr. Kelly ever met Timothy Savage.
Whole entire family. I am happy where I'm at and the people that I'm around, and it's getting out of hand, seriously. Because honestly, you know the situation that had happened that night when I went to meet R. Kelly.
I'm explaining to you how my daughter acts. Me and my wife was in the court. Of course, you're going to be respectful of the court, so you cannot talk. You got to obey whatever the judge is telling you what to say. And this is Joycelyn, because Joycelyn looks just like her mom. We're going to pretend that this is her. And
Lift your mic up.
This is Joycelyn. We're going to pretend that this is Joycelyn, because she looks just like her mom. I come around, when Joycelyn comes around, Joycelyn bows her head, first of all. Nobody noticed it, but I noticed it. She bowed her head. Then my wife sit next to her. She kept her head bowed the whole time. This is a sign, if you ever have a dog, and when you come up to that dog, the first thing he do is lay down, he bows to you. That's how these women are trained. So I noticed that. The second thing is, I came around. When I came around, she immediately got up out of her chair, went to the bailiff and told her, I don't want to be near them. She was immediately.
All right, y'all. So, Tim Savage say that, you know, when you have a dog come up and it bow down to you as soon as you see it. Well, something that y'all may not know out there in the YouTube land is I breed dogs. I got 5 dogs. I got 4 dogs right here in my garage right now, as you can hear. And my 2 oldest dogs. These are my 2 younger dogs. The black ones. These are my 2 younger dogs, y'all. This is Diva. That's Diva that's standing up. And then that's Dallas that's sitting down. Or whatever. This is Gates right here that's laying down. And then that's Nippy that's sitting up. See how he's standing? See how he stood up? See how he stood up, y'all? Y'all see that? See how y'all stood up? All that bowing down. Your dog only bow down when you beat your dog. So what did Tim Savage just tell y'all about himself? All right, y'all. Y'all ready to go eat? There y'all go. Dogs don't fucking bow down to you. The dog should always be at attention when you come to him in the room, when you treat it right. This ain't no camera angles. This ain't no camera tricks or whatever. See that? See that? See that? She excited. She excited. So, I mean, come on, man. So, free R. Kelly, man. Free R. Kelly, y'all.
Yeah.
Real finesse, my nigga. Real no finesse.
I'm still a well-known finesse. Still stress shit and get extra. This new shit was so cheap, I called LA to get a couple Teslas. A white hoe drive a mighty car, but my black bitch drive a Tesla. Plus I fuck a bitch like she quit her job, trying to fit my dick in the schedule. When I fuck her good, she go buy me Glocks, so I told the bitch she a genius. My new gun was so big, the warehouse workers had to do a team. These rap niggas just rap niggas, I've been through it, ain't seen it. I just so many dirty pipes, I told niggas.
Trying to get money and scam.
And it is what he's doing to these girls is unbelievable, and not just from what I am saying, but I've talked to numerous young ladies. Approximately 9 young ladies have already came out, and it's approximately 4 or 5 girls that are still in the home, including my daughter.
Yeah, we talk to women on a daily basis who contact us, and they want to stay anonymous, but he has given STDs to that's uncurable.
Not only does he claim that she's lying, he claims to have video and audio showing that she's lying.
That bitch lying. I can let you listen to 4 hours of motherfucking tape. That bitch mama told her to go back and get some more motherfucking proof. I got that shit on motherfucking video and audio. I just trying to hold that shit because my daughter's in a situation. I got that bitch saying that on goddamn tape. Video.
Oh, y'all, I had to pause the video real quick, man. This kid was calling me from the MCC. Hold on, I'm finna answer. Hey, Kev. Yeah, I'm doing this interview, man, on these lying-ass Savage Parents, man. Yeah, man, is they lying on you?
What you saying to her? Absolutely. Are the cameras still going? Yes. Absolutely.
That we have women that contact us all the time, and we want to be there for those women. And that's the reason why we fight. We fight not just for Joycelyn, but for the other women that are out there that he's doing this to.
Thank you.
Politics was behind this. People who want to silence me. That is who we should be looking for. I think it tells you so much. You know?
I pointed one way while his eyes were pointed another.
That happens when you're lying. Your mind's working so hard to make stuff up that your body can't keep you safe.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
say they never expected Kelly would take a romantic interest in their daughter. Tim Savage, how old are you?
45.
And R. Kelly is 52.
Right.
How does that sit with you?
It doesn't sit well with me. Not one bit.
But the age difference wouldn't be such a problem, they say, if they didn't also believe their daughter was being tortured.
My daughter's being abused every day.
Asriel's dad, Angelo Clary, gave a press conference this morning. His lawyer, Michael Avenatti, by his side.
R. Kelly has a fetish and a sickness with children.
You know what they say? They say that you were brainwashed. I talked to your dad last night, and he's very concerned. He said he was here 2 days ago, and you wouldn't even look him in the eye.
Okay, I wouldn't look him in the eye because he's a liar. He's a manipulative liar.
Now pay attention to how calm and how matter of fact Asriel is as she is talking to Gayle King. She's not hysterical. She's not going up. She's not. Her voice is pretty level, and she's speaking matter of factly. She even rolls her eyes and say, "Oh, this shit again." You know, she can look at this compared to now once the money has ran out.
Asriel says her parents have been trying relentlessly to get R. Kelly to invest in their businesses.
They started texting him, "Oh, you need to buy this food truck for us." Then it started to get even more aggressive.
That is absolutely not true.
Gerald Griggs is the Savage family attorney.
At no point has Mr. Kelly ever met Timothy Savage.
They started to send threats to both me and him. You're trying to solicit me like I'm some hoe. I'm not. I'm your child. Exactly.
Now, you sound very angry with your parents.
I'm crying because you guys don't know the truth. This is all lies for money. This is someone's life that you guys are jeopardizing.
Mm-hmm.
All because gossip sells. Rumors are what sells.
Exactly. But Jocelyn and Asriel, this is more than gossip. This is more than just rumors. These are decades of allegations against Robert Kelly.
We're not here to talk about decades. We're here to talk about what our parents are doing right now. Right. And what they're doing right now is all for money.
Both of our parents are basically out here to trying to get money and scam. Both of our parents are basically out here to trying to get money and scam. Both of our parents are basically out here to trying to get money and scam. Both of our parents are basically out here to trying to get money and scam.
It's the same charge Kelly made when we first did our interview.
What kind of father? What kind of mother will sell their daughter to a man?
You're saying the parents handed their daughters, Asriel and Jocelyn, over to you? Is that what you're saying to us?
Absolutely. Are the cameras still going?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That man has never in his life gave me, my wife, or anyone, any money that had to do with anything with my daughter or anything else.
I want to be clear about this. They have never demanded money from R. Kelly. They have not received a dollar or a penny from R. Kelly, and this is not blackmail.
I just want to share with you what's going to happen if we don't reach a resolution. As soon as this becomes public, I'm going to receive calls from all over the country, from parents and coaches and friends and all kinds of people, because this is always what happens. And they're all going to say, I've got an email or a text message or material. Now, 90% of that's going to be bullshit. It's always bullshit, 90%. Always, whether it's R. Kelly or Trump or the list goes on and on. But 10% of it is actually going to be true.
Kitty Jones and Jocelyn's parents feel the same way. At no time did you try to get money from R. Kelly, have gotten money from R. Kelly, offered your daughter up to R. Kelly. There's never been any financial transaction between you and R. Kelly.
Let me make sure I'm clear.
Mm-hmm.
I've never received any funds from R. Kelly.
Have you asked for funds?
I've never asked for any monies from R. Kelly.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
They said that, hey, they were changing up numbers and stuff like that. R. Kelly had got fed up R. Kelly got fed up with the extortion plots because every time Tim saw him, they either had a new business idea or they wanted some money from him. They wanted some money.
Same thing with Tim Savage and Jocelyn. They had some lingerie boutiques, and they wanted Rob to buy all of the stuff out of the lingerie boutiques for his girls when he was doing the Black Panties tour. And he refused to do that, you know what I mean? And, you know, things started going south whenever they trying to use their daughters to push things in front of them because Rob went past after he had the mothers, and now he's with the daughters, and the daughters are filling his ears up with all the stuff that the moms are conspiring on against him. He just backed up completely. So that's typically the scenario of what happened between the relationship. And then you got these fathers who now didn't benefit at all. I mean, who are just on a revenge trip right now. Because you got to think about what would drive a man to go as hard. I mean, they don't care about their daughters. I mean, Azriel's doing documentaries a day after leaving them, and Jocelyn, won't even go back to her, and he's locked up. I mean, so if these were situations where these men had, or these families were the ones that they are trying to proclaim, it wouldn't be that difficult for Georgia or whatever, or Azriel to go back home.
And he basically gave the daughter, and they was like, well, why come she ain't the star? 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 You should have been made her a star yet. I mean, when you look at somebody like Sparkle was around. Sparkle spent time in the studio. Sparkle could have seen at least to fucking begin with. So now I'm working with something in order to make you a star. I'm working with something. Jocelyn didn't have anything to work with. She didn't have anything to work with. And so you're gonna have to make her a star like one of these girls like Kalani or one of these singers that can't fucking sing. He was gonna have to try to figure out something that way because R. Kelly is a classically trained musician. He can sing all the way from blues to opera.
Feeling on your booty, that is all I want to do. Feeling on your booty, let me follow you. On your booty, I want to do, I want to feeling on your booty, let me follow you, follow you, follow you, feeling.
So I'm not finna auto-tune your voice the fuck out because I'm R. Kelly. That's not what I'm doing. But I got you here. I'm teaching you the business. I'm having you around the process, and you're going to become a star that way. Keep in mind, all of this shit is within a 1.5 year time frame. R. Kelly started singing, let's just say at 16. And when did R. Kelly came? R. Kelly was born in 1967. So we started hearing about R. Kelly about 1992. R. Kelly was 25. Think about this. R. Kelly was 25 when Born in the 90s came out. And he was about 26, going on 27, when 12 Play came out. Joy nor Azriel are 26 or 27 yet. But this is a man who went to high school. He had a teacher named Lena McLean who could teach him all of this stuff. So when he's telling these parents, trust the process, they not there yet. They are saying, no, give me, trying to make them a star right then. And this is, as I do my research, this is what is, what he's telling me. So now she's going out on the road because I don't believe that R. Kelly was actually pressuring them. I think that during this time where they say that she just left, I think that R. Kelly was going on tour and he told them, yo, I'm going on tour. What you gonna do? Because look, shit, hey, you can either roll with this or you can get left. And R. Kelly did have the 2 houses in Atlanta, but I also believe that his heart was in his hometown of Chicago. That's just what I believe or whatever. So I believe that once the parents pulled that bullshit on him, on her or whatever, and then she looking at her daddy like, you supposed to be the example of a man, but you up here trying to suck this nigga dick and beg him too. I might as well just be on his dick and go to this nigga and get it myself. I might as well go and get it myself. Why am I using you? Because this whole case boils down to the parents, both sets of parents, the Clarys and the Savages, orchestrated by Tim Savage himself. They wanted to middleman and skim off of the top all of the benefits that the daughters were going to receive that were for them. They wanted to have a cut and a portion of it. And I think that when they became of age and they started to be able to comprehend and put things together for themselves, they cut the parents off. I don't think that R. Kelly ever mandated for them to cut the parents off. I think that he might have put something up in their ear and been like, yeah, look, this is what the deal. No, I don't think that he did that because both of them have said our parents sent us in to extort R. Kelly. Both of them have said that. Now, let's go on further. So from R. Kelly was on tour from about March 6th to about October 6th. So when they're saying that they didn't speak to their daughter, they called their daughter's phone. The daughter said, I'm on tour or whatever. And then they had a little brief conversation, then they hung up or whatever. But this is when they said they hadn't spoke to their daughter in 2 years. As she's going on, she's starting to experience more of the world. And she's looking at y'all and y'all basically trying to get a cut of R. Kelly's money. Nah, shit, I can suck his dick and get his money right here. I don't need y'all. And that's basically, I believe, where the daughter's mind state went to. And also when R. Kelly came out in a Gayle interview and he said that their parents brought them to me and they didn't fucking have no talent. They like to skip right over that part, but the man told you in no exclusive words right there. Now, let's fast forward to November 26, 2017, Johns Creek, Georgia. And this is also being reported about December the 7th of 2017 too. This is when they arrest a guy named Alfonso Walker, otherwise known as Doc. He was the one that burglarized R. Kelly Atlanta homes. And again, he was arrested. He was charged. And he was selling the rooms for $6,000 per room or whatever while R. Kelly was gone. So yeah, that's the last reported activity of 2017. Now I believe this is just my personal belief that this is Georgia. Tim is originally from Memphis, Tennessee, but it does not say how long they had lived in Georgia. Just me, taking a look at it, me thinking about it, I'm going to say that I wouldn't be surprised if Tim Savage didn't have something to do with this November 26th burglary into R. Kelly's house, because it's mighty strange that R. Kelly had 2 homes in Atlanta. He had 2 homes in Atlanta in Johns. They you know, all that we know about is the one in Johns Creek. This video has been momentarily paused because during the editing process, I realized that Alfonso Doc Walker was from Gwinnett County, Georgia. Why is this peculiar? Because the school that Joycelyn was going to was Gwinnett County College. Just wanted to make a note of that. But the one in Johns Creek that they did the interview in front of, nobody had ever been to that house. So it sounded like he had mainly one house that he was living out of and another house for another purpose. But R. Kelly had two houses, and I personally think that Tim had something to do with this home being burglarized in Johns Creek by Alfonso Walker. But that's allegedly. These are my personal opinions. This is not fact, just my personal opinions. So let's move on. May the 3rd, 2018, Lifetime Studio greenlit survivor R. Kelly. Now keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now, on May the 3rd or whatever, which is a Friday. This is a Friday. This is either Thursday or Friday, 2018. Lifetime, and it was another company. The actual production company is the company that bought you The Real World. They went hand in hand. Also, the people that bought you the Kim Kardashian wedding with the guy Chris, whatever his name was, the guy who was a scrub and played for the Nets. They bought you her wedding, The Real World, a bunch of bullshit reality shows, Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. That's the same company they bought you Survivor R. Kelly. Now, that company, I don't know what that company is worth now. At that time, that company was worth $30 million. Probably double, triple that now. But they got that greenlit on May the 3rd. And so when they get this greenlit on May the 3rd, May the 8th, this is when you start seeing the Savage family on mainstream media for the first time. This is the first time that you start seeing them on mainstream media. They go on the Today Show. Now, they go on here, they make a bunch of claims and a bunch of allegations. So they went on the Today Show May 8th. And this is when they start talking about a bunch of the brainwashing. And I'm sorry, y'all, about that brief delay or whatever. Forgive me. I'm still new at this. I'm still getting it together. But they start talking about brainwashing. Now, I am somebody, and I will not speak on what specifically I do, but let's just say I work in some of the highest levels of government. And I could tell you that what they are calling brainwashing is not brainwashing at all. It's not brainwashing at all. That's not even somebody being attracted to living the high life, somebody who want to fuck with somebody who's a baller, somebody who got status, fame, and money, and can buy them bags. You're mesmerized. You're not brainwashed at all. When you brainwash somebody, because you know, they, in order to get some of the higher levels of security clearances, allegedly, they brainwash you or whatever, and then they brainwash you and then put you on polygraph tests, you know. So, you know, and basically a brainwashing would go something like this. Like right now I got on a turquoise shirt, right? And so they will ask me, they'll be like, okay, well, what's your name? I say Trent. They'll say, what's your zodiac sign? So I will tell them my zodiac sign, and then they'll say, what color shirt you got on? Now, I know that my shirt is turquoise, but I will be forced to tell them yellow, right? And so then they will ask the question in reverse order. And then they ask them in the right order. And then they'll say, well, this time I want you to tell the truth that you got on a turquoise shirt. And then the next time that they ask it or whatever, they'll be like, well, I want you to lie this time. What color shirt do you got on? And your brain will be dead locked on turquoise, but they want you to say yellow, or your brain will be locked in on yellow. And then the truth is that you got on turquoise. Them being brainwashed, they not brainwashed. They're not brainwashed at all. And I can go and speak to specialists and things like that. I mean, even Dr. Rice, shout out to his channel. He came on and he said that they are not brainwashed or whatever. They never went to get a psych evaluation done when you're talking about brainwashing. But anyway, let's move on forward. In a May 8th interview, he says that she ran out the house. She ran out the house to never return. And they haven't spoken to their daughter. And their daughter was kidnapped. And the youngest child, Jalen, she says, well, everything changed as she moved to college.
I just want to see her how she used to be. When Joycelyn left to go to college, everything changed after that. Everything. It's all because of this monster, R. Kelly. He needs to get what he deserves, for real. Like, everybody knows that he is a pedophile, a rapist, everything.
That's it.
Whenever they tell this story about Joy, and when Joy goes to college, they always say things change, things change, things change. They are from Atlanta. Joy went to school, Gwinnett County College, which is basically anywhere in Atlanta. That shit is no more than about 45 minutes away. So when they saying she changed, Joy, she just lost contact with us. She was up the fucking highway, man. If it was that serious to me, I could get a background check and I could find out how far it is from Gwinnett County College to let's just look at this. Gwinnett Technical College, okay, to, let's see here, to J. Savage Collections. Okay. No, I don't want it like that. Okay. J. Savage Collections to Gwinnett County. Okay. I don't know if y'all can see this, but it say 32 minutes. So this whole time where they saying she been held captive and R. Kelly got her, she was 32 fucking miles away. She was 32 miles away. 32 miles away. When Joy went off to college, Joy didn't leave the state to go to college. Joy was 30 miles up the road, man. Most people drive 30 miles to work per day. Pretty much everybody I know, they drive about 30 miles to work. So you mean to tell me y'all ain't, man, get the fuck up out of here or whatever. So this is just simple to prove that this just proves that this man should be released of his own reconnaissance because he has nothing to fear at trial because all of these allegations are conflicting. Now, bear with me. We got a couple more things to go through, and then, this is going to be the end of this video. So, when they are at the USA, when they're on the Today Show, Joy sent them a statement in, and she says in her statement, I am an adult, 22 years old, and I call on my parents to stop telling lies about me and my relationship with R. Kelly. I am building my own life and my own career. My parents are hurting me by depicting me in public as brainwashed or a sex object. It was my parents who introduced me to R. Kelly 3 years ago, and they were looking out they were not looking out for me. but they were looking out for their own financial gain, hoping that R. Kelly would make me an instant star. I care for R. Kelly and I enjoy my relationship with him. This is coming from Joycelyn's people. But keep in mind, she's with R. Kelly, and they frame it as, well, R. Kelly's people put that out. Well, you know, if she's with him and she's in his camp, she's going to use his goddamn press secretary. Y'all got y'all own PR reps and stuff like that. So yeah, she did issue a statement or a press release through his what do you call him? A press secretary, or whatever the Durham public relations folks. That's who he did it to, his publicist. He had her issue a statement. I'm sorry, I fucked it up. But anyway, now, so Lifetime then greenlit the Survivor R. Kelly, and the stuff is really a downhill run from there. Now, I am saying that this is a criminal enterprise because, again, from Ashanti linking out to both the Clarys and Ashanti linked out to both the Clarys and the Savages. From the Savages, we get the Faith Rogers of this piece right here is very important. A part of the indictment is that R. Kelly intentionally infected the girls with herpes. And this whole case started with Tim Savage. And we have Tim Savage on tape saying that, oh, that bitch Faith, she lying. That bitch is a motherfucking liar. She's a lie. She's a motherfucking lie. We got Tim on tape admitting to that. This whole case started with Tim. It started with Tim extorting and trying to pressure R. Kelly for some money. When R. Kelly refused to give money, they went and put out these false allegations. Now we have Tim on tape saying, oh, this bitch Faith is lying. She's lying, she's lying, she's lying. Nobody else out of all of these women we know have slept with him. Nobody, only one person has herpes allegations. Herpes allegations do not work that way. They just simply don't work that way. And so at that time, like during the July 17th interview, what they closed the interview out with is they say that, so who have you reported this to? So at that time, if you go back and look at that interview, one of the things that Tim Savage does in that first interview they did in front of R. Kelly's house with Ashanti McGee, they said that they say, hey, yeah, we have talked to people. We have been in touch with the FBI. Download that, register that. They have been in touch with the FBI, and they have also been in touch with the Johns Creek Police Department.
Accusations. We're going to actually bring that to the forefront within the next 2 to 5 days. I promise you that. Another conversation. Give me one more. One more.
Are you working with authorities?
Yes, I am working with authorities. We're working with the FBI, and we're also working with the sheriff here in Johns Creek Police Department. And that's it, guys. We'll talk to you guys later. Hold up.
Are you working with authorities?
Yes, I am working with authorities. We're working with the FBI, and
they have reported this stuff to the Johns Creek Police Department. When they say that R. Kelly quit talking to them, that he's allegedly kidnapping all of them, no. They were coming to him with business deals. Every time he saw them, they were trying to sell him something or get him to buy something. When he refused, they put out all of these false allegations or whatever. They were looking at him for a meal ticket. Listen to the I Admit song. You know, he say some deep shit in there. But again, they asked at that time, this is again July 17th, 2017, who are you in contact with? We are in contact with the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, and we are also in contact with the Johns Creek Police Department. For those reasons, for those two reasons, this is why R. Kelly should not have to go to a bail hearing. he should be released of his own recognizance, because at this time, with them manipulating and them changing around changing around charges and changing everything up, at this time, they do not have a case against R. Kelly. They are still investigating the case against R. Kelly. They have been investigating the case against R. Kelly since at least July 17, 2017. They have been investigating R. Kelly, and I'm going to say it again, since July 17, 2017. Go and look at the interview, or go and look at the press conference that Tim Savage, John Jalen Savage, Jai Savage, Asante McGee, and somebody that looks like he could be Asante McGee's brother or son or something like that. When they go and do the press conference, this is the one where Tim Savage got on that goddamn ugly ass Bluetooth that look like this and shit. Go, and this nigga is wearing some goddamn stunning shades and shit, looking like a nigga that chewed tobacco. Go and look at that interview. When you go and check that interview out, the last thing that Tim Savage says is, we are talking to the FBI and we are talking to the Johns Creek Police Department. FBI does not just belong to one state. They belong to all
yes,
states.
I am working
and
with
so
authorities.
Here we are. This is February 2020. So you have been investigating this man for 2.5 years. And if y'all are still changing out charges at this point, y'all case is not ready. You are not prepared. You are ill prepared. And chances are, if you don't have anything now, somebody who is under a microscope of a federal investigation, you're not going to get more information now. You're not going to get, it don't work that way. Don't nobody go in and start doing the same shit that, or doing worse shit that they indicted of once they under a federal microscope, unless your name is Michael Avenatti and you believe that you are above the law. But hey, even him, he is a key piece of this goddamn case, you know. And so either way, by hook or by crook, R. Kelly does not need a bail hearing. R. Kelly needs to be released of his own recognizance immediately. Immediately. The key perpetrators and the key conspirators of this trial or of this indictment or these set of indictments is Tim Savage. Tim Savage has gotten on camera multiple times and told contradictory statements, and he had admitted himself to having knowledge that one of these so-called victims, alleged victims, is lying. He has firsthand knowledge about it. He appeared in a documentary, giving his cosign and his release to it. He has gone on press runs, and he has benefited and reaped the rewards of being a part of this scam. This is a sham, and he's a part of this. This is orchestrated by Tim Savage. Tim Savage is the head conspirator in these cases. And what happens is that anytime somebody speaks out against him, he threatens FBI or he threatens law enforcement. He threatens to come down on you with legal action. Well, he is a conspirator. I don't give a fuck. He's a conspirator or whatever. And everything that I'm saying, you can come down on me with legal action. My attorneys, they bout it. But everything that I told you, for the most part, I added in my own speculations in there. But everything I told you, these are all actions that he has done. He's done them on camera. He's done them on film or whatever. And this shit can be verified. So since the key conspirator of this fact, because again, Michael Avenatti was a conspirator, but I believe Michael Avenatti got on this case around May 2019 when it got picked up by Lifetime. Michael Avenatti got on here, and what happened was once this started to get praise, we knew that Jim DeRogatis had an axe to grind. Since Jim DeRogatis had an axe to grind, I believe that this is where all of this stuff comes from. I believe that these new girls, the girls since about the starting with Jerron Pace, I believe that they come from Asante McGee. I believe that Asante McGee bought them here. Once Jim Derogatis got steam of this, he is connected with Sparkle so much to the point to where he got kid porn. And as soon as he got kid porn, he didn't call the FBI. He contacted Sparkle and had Sparkle come and get this kid porn. Now, from Sparkle, this is all the late 90s. I think that Sparkle and all of them are connected to the Ebony Wilkinses that are connected to the Lisa Van Allen. And I believe that Lisa Van Allen and Drea are friends. I believe that they probably had a threesome together too, allegedly, or whatever. But I believe that all of these folks are connected. And when you start putting the strings together and tying these strings all the way together, then this is the conspiracy. These folks, R. Kelly is not the RICO case. R. Kelly isn't a RICO case. You can't have a RICO case with three people. You got R. Kelly, James Mason, and you got Daryl McDavid. Now, James Mason is in the case because Tim Savage put him there. Because when they did the interview, they said, well, how did she get there? Well, his manager, Tim said, what's the dude's name? James Mason came into our store. Tim put Tim Savage there. That's Tim who put him there. Ain't nobody else put him there other than Tim. Tim was the first one to say this man's name. But again, if you look at how wild and how Tim Savage moves around and operates, I'm going to take a step out on a limb there, and I'm going to say that the James Mason guy, if he did allegedly threaten death on Tim Savage, he was threatening in retaliation for something that Tim said, because Tim got a baseball bat out of a trunk on camera and said, "Come on, R. Kelly, you bitch ass nigga, face me like a man, you bitch ass nigga." All of this hoopla, all of this rah-rah stuff, we saw him get on camera, and we saw him say these things. So for these reasons and the reasons that I have given you, I believe that R. Kelly, again, needs to be released of his own recognizance. I believe that he needs to be released of his own recognizance. No bail should be needed in the R. Kelly case, because these are the real people of the RICO case. At the top, we have Tim Savage with the Lifetime Network that greenlit this trash, with Michael Avenatti, with Asante McGee. That is your RICO case. From Asante McGee, we get Jim Derogatis, who is a member of the media. We have Sony Records, who refused to pay this guy's get this guy back his catalog, and his catalog was rightfully due. And so when he went back and requested to get his catalog back, they said no. And then all of these allegations started to come. We have, as a part of this conspiracy as well, we also have the Me Too movement along with Tarana Burke. Tarana Burke, when you go and look at the credits for the Survivor R. Kelly series, Tarana Burke's name is listed as one of the stars of Survivor R. Kelly. How the fuck are you a star of Survivor R. Kelly when does this woman have a degree in counseling, in psychology, or anything? She don't have no fucking degree in none of that stuff. This is just a bitch making allegations, unwarranted allegations, but this is just an ugly bitch making allegations with a big ass book of snuffer nose or whatever. Drea was the wife or whatever, so I see how that correlates. But you have the Me Too movement, you have Lifetime, you have Jim Derogatis, you got Tim and John Savage, Asante McGee, you have Michael Avenatti, you have Barry Hankerson, and you have Daryl McDavid. That is the conspiracy. That is the RICO case right there. The real RICO case is Tim, John Jalen, Sony Records, the Lifetime Network, Daryl McDavid, Jim Derogatis. Did I already say Tim and John Jalen? Say their ass again. Tim and John Jalen, And then you start having all these other people. Lisa Van Allen. Lisa Van Allen, if you take Lisa Van Allen out, most of this, all that shit from the 90s basically go away without Lisa Van Allen in there. Lisa Van Allen has no credibility. She has no credibility. The only way that she can have some credibility is if there has been a deal struck up. If she has a deal struck up, then she has a motive to sit here and lie. So me as a potential juror or as a juror, I don't know if I can believe Lisa Van Allen. I don't know if I could believe her because, are you saying that you were lying then and you would tell the truth now? Or are you lying now and you would tell the truth then? And then some of the stuff that you say is mighty opportunistic and it is very convenient for you to say some of your stuff. So which testimony am I supposed to believe? I ain't went to school. I ain't got no Jewish doctorate. I ain't got no JD. I ain't passed the bar. If I'm just a regular dude from the hood, man, who can sit there and break this case down like that, what do you think the attorneys are gonna do? But look, again, man, I am not an R. Kelly fan. I am a supporter of justice, of due process, of equal rights under the law. And me going through and me having actually read the facts and the merits of the people who surround and who are involved in this case, I say that R. Kelly does not deserve bail. He does not deserve bail because they have not went on and they have not shown an abundance of evidence pointing to there were crimes committed. Everything is circumstantial from incredible people, people who have gone on, people who have a shaky background, people who have not been evaluated by health professionals, and people who are chasing a check. And they have immobilized this man. They have a lawsuit should be coming for lost revenue, lost wages, things of that nature. But again, the real conspiracy case, man, I'm going to say this and I'm going to go ahead and close it off because I've been spitballing for an hour.
Hey, this is going out to all the ladies, you know what I'm saying? Because I had a little experience before I got my album out. Did nobody want to give me no play, right? Although I have a few girls. Tell us about that. That was down with me. But this goes out to all the ladies who don't want to give me no play with 9. Talk about it, bro. Sweat me, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool. I'm with that. And I just want to get something off my chest in a second now, all right? So I'm going to break it down. So explain to you about that. Back in the days I used to say, can I get with you today? And you told me, no, no way, no how, not today. I used to say, do you mind if we spend a little time? And you told me, no, Robert, no way, no how, not today. I used to walk up to the girls. I said, can I rock your world? And they told me, no, Robert, no, how, not today. And I used to say, can I knock your boots today? And you told me, no, Robert, no way, no how, not today. But now that I'm all that, before they used to call me whack, but now they say, yes, Robert, yeah, come on, right now, you go, boy. You see, they used to call me stank, but now I'm walking to the bank, and now they tell me, yes, right, yes, right now, you go, boy. I asked them time and times again, but now they see me driving in my Benz, and now they say, yes, right, come on, right now. So, hey, put your money money up there, and we can shoot some ball right on 18th Street.
To the song here in my heart, a melody I start but can't complete. Listen to the sound from deep within. It's only beginning to find release. Oh, the time has come for my dreams to be heard. They will not be pushed aside and turned into your own, all 'cause you won't listen. I am alone at a crossroads. I'm not at home in my own home, and I try to say what's on my mind. You should have known. Oh, now I'm done believing you. You don't know what I'm feeling. I'm more than what you made of me. I followed the voice you gave to me, but now I gotta find my own. You should have listened. There is someone here inside, someone I thought had died so long ago. Oh, I'm screaming out in my dreams to be heard. They will not be pushed aside or words into your own, all 'cause you won't listen. Crossroads. I'm not at home in my own home, and I try to say what's on my mind. You should have known. Oh, now I'm done believing you. You don't know what I'm feeling. I'm more than what you made of me. I found the voice you gave to me, but now I gotta find my own. I don't know where I belong, but I'll be moving on. If you don't, if you want, to the song here in my heart, a melody